In a quiet African city, nestled among tall trees and dusty roads, lived a man no one respected. He was the night watchman. Every evening, as the world fell asleep, he would begin his slow patrol, a simple torch in one hand, a whistle in the other. He guarded the silent shops, the sleeping homes, and the empty, moonlit streets. His uniform was faded, a testament to countless nights on duty. His shoes were worn thin, and his face was etched with the lines of hardship. People saw him, but they never truly noticed him. To the village, he was just the watchman, a fixture of the night, as unremarkable as the darkness itself. What no one knew, what no one could have ever imagined, was that this man was a billionaire. His name was Musa. Years earlier, his life was a world away from this humble existence. Musa had owned vast companies, towering buildings, and sprawling lands across the country. Money was never a problem. It flowed to him like a river, but with immense wealth came an unbearable weight of betrayal. Friends who promised loyalty vanished the moment he tested their sincerity. Relatives, once distant, suddenly appeared, their eyes hungry, fighting over a fortune they hadn't earned. Love, he discovered, had become a transaction, a cold exchange of favors instead of genuine affection. Musa grew weary. He was tired of being valued for what he owned, not for who he was. So, he made a choice. He disappeared from the world of wealth. He didn't sell his empire. He didn't give away his riches. He simply walked away from it all, leaving it in the hands of trusted managers. He chose a remote village where his name meant nothing, where his face was unknown. Day after day, Musa observed how people treated him in his new role. It was a painful yet illuminating education. Some ignored him completely, their eyes passing over him as if he were invisible. He was just the watchman, after all. He heard the snickers and saw the mockery in their eyes as they laughed at his worn-out uniform and his quiet, reserved nature. Women adorned in fine clothes would walk past without a single glance in his direction. He let their disdain wash over him, a silent observer gathering data on the human heart. He witnessed small acts of kindness and shocking moments of cruelty. He saw honesty in the face of temptation and pride in the face of poverty. In the quiet darkness of the village, Musa learned more about humanity than he ever had in the polished boardrooms of his billion-dollar empire. But among all the faces in the village, one stood out. Her name was Zuri. She sold vegetables at the local market, her hands often stained with the soil of her hard work. She lived a simple, unadorned life. Zuri wasn't admired for her beauty or her wealth, for she had little of either. She would offer him a warm greeting in the morning as he finished his shift. She never, ever looked down on him. For Zuri, value was found in a person's effort. Over time, Musa began to notice her consistent kindness. It wasn't a loud, performative kindness designed to attract attention. It was a quiet, steady kindness that expected nothing in return. And slowly, in that barren landscape of disrespect, a seed of trust began to grow between them. Musa and Zuri started spending time together in the simplest of ways. They spoke of their days, their small joys, and their struggles. Zuri knew Musa was poor. She saw his patched clothes and knew he earned a pittance. Then came the final test. A harsh, dry season fell upon the region, and life in the village became even harder for everyone. He started skipping meals, his clothes became more tattered, and a look of hopelessness began to creep into his eyes. Whispers started to spread through the village. Surely, Zuri would leave him now. What future could she possibly have with a man who could barely feed himself? The villagers mocked her choice, certain she would soon abandon the poor watchman for someone with better prospects. But Zuri did not leave. She stood by his side, unwavering. When life became uncomfortable, she offered him food from her own small portion. When others mocked her, she held her head high, her loyalty a silent shield against their scorn. The test was over. She had proven her character beyond any doubt. The entire village gathered, their curiosity piqued. Well-dressed men in sharp suits stepped out of the cars, their demeanor radiating authority and respect. Then, Musa stepped forward, but he didn't look like the watchman they knew. In front of the entire village, he revealed his true identity. A wave of shock spread through the crowd like wildfire. Those who had mocked him burned with shame. Those who had ignored him were filled with a sharp, bitter regret. Those who had treated him with disrespect stood speechless, their minds struggling to reconcile the humble watchman with the powerful billionaire standing before them. Then, Musa turned to Zuri. He honored her publicly, not because she was about to become rich, but because she had already proven her priceless worth when there was absolutely nothing to gain. He praised her loyalty, her kindness, and her ability to see the man behind the uniform. The village learned a powerful lesson that day. They learned that respect should never be based on a uniform or a job title. They learned that wealth does not define a person's value. And they learned that true character is revealed not in times of plenty, but in moments of humility and hardship. Zuri didn't rise because Musa was rich. She rose because her character was rich. And Musa didn't lose his wealth by hiding it. He gained a wisdom far more valuable by testing the hearts of those around him. From that day forward, no one in that village ever looked at a watchman, or anyone in a humble position, the same way again.